Hello everyone, and welcome to Random Bits and Pieces of My Brain. Today we randomly rolled a new series that's going to be for Path of Exile. So we are going to randomly play this game. Path of Exile is an action RPG that's kind of like Diablo or Torchlight or those type of games, and playing it randomly is going to be kind of very unusual because in those type of games you usually want to have your build set from the get-go so that you can go around and build around what you decide, and then you're basically just a victim to the usual RNG for the gear that drops. So I'm going to be pushing the RNG numbers completely to the limit here. I randomly rolled to see what character I'm going to be using. I am also going to be using random skills. So I have played that game before. I have a bunch of skills in the bank. I'm going to randomly roll 3 to get me started. Whatever drops later on in the game, I'm free to use, but my starter 3 abilities are going to be rolled randomly. And finally, we're going to be randomly going through the skill tree as well. So that's kind of the idea of this playthrough, is that usually you look at people that have a solid build that they're working on and everything, and they just plow through everything. My idea here is more, let's create a completely random character, set it in hardcore mode, and see how far we can go with that. So I randomly rolled that character, so that's what we're going to go with. So
that plunders our crops, a stray dog that slaughters our sheep. Orient is a land of men, not animals. Think on that, Ranger, when Reclass shows you how to truly live like an animal.
Alright, so we're gonna change the league, and I always play standard hardcore. Since it's a random character, there's really no point in trying to go in a ladder system. So alright, and this is going to be our name. So let's get started here and see how far we can make it. Alrighty, so we're gonna skip all the tutorials.
I've not seen a wilderness like this before. There'll be some dark days ahead.
Alright.
You and I, we're the only ones that made it to shore. Alive, anyway. Looks like you found something you can defend yourself with. Good. This place is crawling with criminals. There's smoke rising just east of here. Could be worth checking if there's...
Alright. We've defeated our first enemy, and now we got an ability that dropped. Obviously, I have to make it to the first outpost to select the random skills, like I said I was going to do. So I'm going to be using the skill until I get there, and after that it's going to be rolled randomly within reason. If I get abilities that contradict themselves, like an ability for a ranged weapon and then an ability for or a skill for a melee weapon, obviously I can't do both, so I might reroll until I get 3 abilities that I can potentially use. Now, use greatly or efficiently, that's another story, but at least that it's possible to use. Alright, and I love how the water looks here. I just do. So the first area is really easy, not much of a challenge there. just killing some zombies, you know, that's usually the typical critter in those type of games. When you play MMORPGs, usually it's rats and spiders, but in action RPGs, often it's your typical low-level undead, like a zombie or a skeleton or a crackhead or something. Alright, found ourselves our first piece of armor, plate vest. Just gives a little bit of armor. There's really three different, well, let's say there's three main ways to mitigate damage in this game. One of them is pure armor, which is just your typical defense stat. There's evasion, which is pretty self-explanatory, and then there's energy shield, which is kind of absorbing damage until it gets to deplete your health. So we'll see, depending on the type of skills that I roll and where I go in the skill tree, we'll see on what kind of mitigation we're going to focus on here. It's usually a better idea to try to focus on one, maybe two, depending on the rolls you get, on the gear you get, but definitely you probably shouldn't try to go for all three at the same time. Alright, so doing pretty good here. Oh, got a chest over here. Alright. Well, that works. So again, I'm gonna use it until I hit town. Also, I'm only gonna randomly roll for skills, not for support gems, because I don't want to roll something that's gonna be completely useless. So I'm going to manually choose some support skills. I'm gonna let myself have some control over something. Alright, leveled up. Gonna kill those guys here, and then I'm gonna spend that point randomly, like I said. Gonna see which way we get to go. Alright, let's stand in that water that I like so much. Alright, so we're here. I'm going to randomly roll a d6. So 1 to 3 we're going to go that way, and 4 to 6 we're going to go there. And I rolled a 5, so we're going to with evasion and life. Alright. So might go with a evasion build. Also depends on, you know, what kind of skills we're gonna be stuck with. Alright. Got a little bit of a just a little bit of a stutter there. Hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, we should be getting close to where there he is. To where the minibus is. Hillock. I just love setting this guy on fire. Alright, so he always get himself back to full health. That shouldn't be too big of a problem. So there's a little bit of a stutter. I'm gonna try and fix that before I start the next episode. I have a few things that I can try to alter to make it not stutter as much. Oh, got a yellow. Alright, so as far as, gear quality, white is your typical random normal quality. Blue is magical, yellow is rare, orange is even rarer, and I think green, it's been a while since I played, I think green is unique. Alright, definitely a little bit of a stutter here, so I'm gonna need to get that resolved before the next episode, and we're gonna go ahead and go in Lionize Watch, which is the first outpost. So basically how you save in this game is that you have to reach waypoints like that. So most, not all, a lot, I guess, of the areas have waypoints like this one here. Whenever you reach one, it kind of saves your progress, because then you can teleport there. So typically when I do an episode, I'm going to always try to make it to a waypoint to save, unless I'm just going to a side area for a quest that's going to take a while or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and go around and talk to the people, and then we're gonna call this a video, because I need to fix that stuttering.
Fine work with Hillock. Where'd you learn to fight like that? No, forget I asked. We Exiles have no history. Dominus took it from us when he had his blackguards dump us in the water out there. Here, got something for you. Should help you kill a few more of those undead bastards. Don't bother thanking me. The way I figure it, the longer we fighters live, the longer everyone lives.
Alright, so again, gonna choose the skill here randomly. I rolled a 1, so getting split arrow, which is going to be useful if we get projectile skills rolled.
Founded by Marseilles Lioni as a supply station for his campaigns against the cavalry. In its day, Lioni's Watch could be defended by just a small garrison of well-armed legionnaires. What have I got? A handful of starving criminals with driftwood clubs and rusted hatchets.
Yep, sounds like how Quebec tried to defend itself back in the day, with a bunch of farmers with pitchforks against the well-established English army, but let's not get into that.
The Eternal Empire has some right nasty leftovers. Whether it's something in the air or in the water, no one stays dead in Rayclast. Not the first time. It can take a little while, but sooner or later corpses wake up and go looking for breakfast.
Okay.
I've seen many an exile pass through Lioni's Watch, and many more that simply pass on. Those letters are my way of keeping track, of remembering. Oriath might want to forget us all, but I'll be damned if I will. Stay sharp out there.
Alright, so Tarklik is kind of the leader here, and he also serves as a merchant. There's no gold or money in Path of Exile. Everything works as trade, so you trade, gear for pieces of parchments and everything that allows you to be used as currency, basically. So we're gonna look at what we got that drops. So obviously plate vest. So we're gonna go ahead and identify this. Just regular crude bows, that. Alright, so I'm probably gonna try to go with evasion. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna talk to the other characters that we see here, and then I'm going to randomly roll my skills offline, and I'll have everything ready before the next video, hopefully with the stuttering gone.
I've seen you before, back in Oriath. running like a frightened rabbit from my father and his gamekeepers. Fleet as a fox you were, even with that leg of prize venison over your shoulder. And from what I saw you do to Hillock, you've grown even faster since then. I'm Nessa, and I suppose I should thank you for ridding us of that putrid giant. I hope your speed never fails you, Ranger. It's all that stands between you and death here in Rayclast. Lion Eye's watch isn't much, but it's ours. We could use you here, while you live. But should you wish to venture out, do just one thing for me. Out on the coast, amongst the wrecks, there must be a ship's medicine chest. I have many to care for, and there's only so much I can do with herbs and seawater.
Yeah, I mean, that's only gonna get you that so far.
Tarklee's as good a man as you can find on this god-forsaken coast. He has some wrongs to right, no doubt. What they are, I've never asked, and I never will. If not for Tarklee, we'd all be dead.
Yeah, being alive is kind of a good thing.
While we live, we are blessed.
Alright, let's see what he has to say.
Ravishing ranger, relegated to rot in Rayclast. That's the first line of writing there in your exile.
Oh, I'm honored.
You've been skewing the blood with a look like that. The name's Bestel, captain of the good ship Merry Go. Alas, my Merry Go is gone. My crew is in. But my wits remain after the flash.
Okay. You sound a little
A hop, skip, and a
weird.
whack on shore of the terraces. That's where my Merry Go ran aground. Watched the locals spit roast the ship's doctor, but his medicine chest might still be there, amongst the splinters and bones. It'd have everything Nessa might need. Dr. Shaky Hands Ogden was lousy with a scalpel and even worse with a saw, but he knew his apothecary. Explains the shaky hands, if you ask me.
Yeah, drugs can do bad things to you.
Poor Nessa. Not even a mother herself, and yet she cares for us all. And what a sickly, pathetic brood we are. May she live to have her own family. A real family. If anyone deserves that, Nessa does. Tarklee, rescued from the waves. A stricken Bestel, fate slain. From fallen crew and broken bark, Bestel lives, thanks to Tarklee.
Probably not gonna win an award with your writing there, Bestel.
Aaron, the Merry Go's cook, washed up on the rocks over yonder. Dead as a doornail he was, buried him myself. Then, a few days later, I see him on the beach. A little worse for wear, but upright, shuffling about. A land full of disturbing surprises, this Rayclast.
Indeed. Alright, and finally we have Navali. She's a mystic, I believe, or I don't know if that's the right title for her, but you can bring her silver coins that you find, and she's going to give you prophecies, which is basically something that's going to happen to you. It's kind of a way to get extra good gear sometimes, or, you know, to get a rare monster to pop or something like that.
Is it choice that carries you here, or is it fate?
Oh,
I see a need.
philosophy, huh?
A need to peer into your future. A need to follow the right path. But your future has already been cast. So open your mind and embrace it.
You sound like a cult leader.
Long ago, my people called me a Hatungo, a wise woman. Now they call me a revenant. But it is not my fate to return to the Mother of Death just yet. For now I stand with one foot in this world, and the other foot in the realm of the dead. I'm an inquirer of the living, and an interpreter of death.
Well, aren't you
I
important?
sense you have questions. For a gift of silver, I will answer them. But you seek more than answers. Riches, power. These I can also provide, in a way. All you have to do is join me. Heed my words, but walk your path. The future is mine to tell, but yours to claim. It is time to fulfill your prophecy.
Sure. I can kill stuff for power. What do you have to say about Rayclast?
I traveled here through death's darkened halls, walking the paths of the remembered. I am but a memory of the woman I was. A memory treasured and sustained by the mother of death.
What about Yama the White?
I awoke in the halls of death, with the life I once led little more than a dream half remembered. Yama the White, my furry companion, stood before me with the seeing stone he holds now. Both were given a hair of Hinekora's dark knowledge, but each serves a separate purpose. The seeing stone drags me deep into its core, where every instant into eternity is known all at once, like limitless rings on a tree trunk. Yama, like a torch in the mist, guides me back from the stone's infinite visions. Hinekora, my mother of death, is not the only god, Exile. The Karui are watched over by many. Namahu lends us fire, which illuminates the path. Tafor gives us the trees and birds that line the path, so that we may enjoy beauty and peace. Tukohama provides us with weapons and knowledge of war, which lets us walk the path safely. And in the final days of this world, Kitava, whose hunger knows no bounds, will take it all away.
Okay, well, thank you for the lesson on the gods. Alright, so I'm gonna call this a video. Like I said, I'm going to try to fix the stuttering, gonna roll skills, and I'm gonna figure out what equipment I may or may not use. So that's it for now. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and until I roll this next time.